Malaysia. Professor Dr. Muhammad Roslan Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Putra Malaysia. Professor Dr. Insinyur Riri Fitri Sari, Chairperson, UI Green Metric. Dr. Nyoman Suwarta, Vice Chair of Administration, Research and Development, UI Green Metric.
Tak dengar tu. Saya dengar ya.
Dengar ya? Ha.
Saya
luar
okey.
tak terdengar.
Ibu Riri tak dengar.
Can you hear me, the rest of you?
Ya.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then I will continue. Dr. Nyoman Suwarta. Okay, we're gonna wait for a while. Our technical team is working on it, so just hold on for a while, yeah.
Tak ada keluar dululah, saya okey. Lepas tu masuk balik.
Boleh dengar?
Bolehkah?
Boleh? Remy? Boleh
Ya, saya boleh dengar, saya boleh dengar.
Ya, saya dengar di sini.
Dengar So,
Sri okey, Dr. Sri?
I'm okay. I listen.
I think orang luar tak dengar kot sekejap.
Ada beberapa negeri yang tak dengar, negara.
Rasa-rasanya.
Cannot hear you.
Luqman, let me know kalau dah ready.
Testing.
So
Rohimi, boleh Cik Rohimi cakap bagi cakap bagi count ke 1, 2, 3. Cik Rohimi boleh test ke?
Okey. Bolehkah? Boleh dengar tak? Lokman? Lokman, boleh dengar?
Kenapa tak dengar Cik Rohimi? Oh, tak dengar suara Cik Rohimi lah.
Ada orang dengar tak?
Dengar, saya dengar.
Okey, dalam bilik dengar. I think there's not a problem here in this room. It's okay. I think it's the outside that not. Our technical team is outside, I think. Lokman, boleh dengar tak Lokman? I can, but the problem is the other room. Nobody can hear me. So then you can. Okay. So Lokman, technical, can I go? Okay. All right. I'm going to start. All right. Apologies to everybody. You know how it is. You know, COVID doesn't actually just destroy our health, but it's also, you know, when we do anything online, we expect these things to happen. It was okay the last time we checked, so we apologize once again. So I will now start. Yeah, hopefully everything goes well after this. Thank you. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Seri Insignio Dr. Zaini Ujang, Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Water, Malaysia. Professor Dr. Muhammad Roslan Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Putra Malaysia. Professor Dr. Insignio Riri Fitri Sari, Chairperson, UI Green Metric. Dr. Nyoman Suwarta, Vice Chair of Administration, Research and Development, UI Green Metric. Assistant Professor Junaidi, Vice Chair of Program, Communication and Partnership, UI Green Metric. University leaders and all participants of the 7th workshop on UI Green Metric World University Rankings. Assalamualaikum and greetings from University Putra Malaysia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 7th International Virtual Workshop on UI Green Metric World Ranking University. It is so unfortunate that we are unable to meet face-to-face this time. However, worry not, we have been given the chance to meet and mingle at least virtually live on 2 platforms today via Zoom and YouTube channel. As I speak, there are close to 850 of you out there from 443 universities located in 56 countries who are watching or listening in to this opening ceremony from all corners of the world. To all of you, I bid selamat datang, and I sincerely hope that you are in good health and are staying safe during this pandemic. I'm also happy to note that some of you in certain parts of the world are already on your way to some semblance of a normal life. Congratulations. However, there are regions that are still struggling with COVID-19. So let's pray that all of our efforts in combating the virus will come to fruition soon, and all of us can meet again face to face in the next workshop. So although this time, this lucky 7th time, we are doing it totally differently from previous workshops due to the pandemic, we are nevertheless just as happy and eager to make this an experience that you will not forget for, if not for the rest of your lives, at least for a long time to come. And what better theme can we have today if not universities' UI green metric and SDGs in the time of pandemic? I'm sure Gabriel Garcia Marquez would be proud with this homage to his famous book, Love in the Time of Cholera. Who knows, maybe love is in the air tonight too, not just the virus. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 11 years, UI Green Metric has become one of the flagship programs of Universitas Indonesia that ranks universities around the world according to appointed indicators of campus environmental sustainability issues, such as setting and infrastructure, energy, waste management, water, transportation, and education. This ranking is one of the university's efforts in promoting sustainability in campuses and also in involving stakeholders in any kind of effort to create a sustainable environment. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we can't have an opening ceremony without one or two speeches, can we? So, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Roslan Sulaiman, Vice, to give his welcome speech. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Honorable Datuk Sri Insinyur Dr. Zaini Ujang, Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Water Malaysia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Unmute. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And that's still unmute. The one is unmute.
Saya dengar, Prof.
Ya, Datuk Sri boleh dengar. Kita dalam room yang sama. We are in the same room.
Yeah.
I think kita kena keluar bilik ni lah.
Testing.
Can Ibu Riri dengar saya nggak, Pak Ibu?
Ibu Riri boleh dengar?
Ibu Riri dengar saya tak?
Anybody outside there can hear me?
Macam outer space pula kita.
Saya rasa
Can
kita
hear,
terkurung dalam bilik ni sebab tu kita tak didengar.
Can hear in YouTube but nothing Zoom.
Oh, okay. YouTube's fine.
Kita terkurung ni, tu yang jadi macam ni.
Sound is missing.
Masalah juga ni.
This is technology.
Saya rasa kalau kita keluar pada bilik ni lebih baik.
Okey, Assalamualaikum semua. Sebabkan dia teknikal macam ni, jadi kita akan keluarkan semua daripada VIP room.
Yep.
Kita terus saja berada di dekat participant room ya.
Okay.
Ya, tak apa. No issue.
Okey, saya akan keluarkan semua. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. So now we're just waiting for our VC.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Prof. We can hear you, Prof. Yes.
Okay,
Go
thank
ahead.
you very much, Mr. Chairman. My apologies for this technical problem. Anyway, Assalamualaikum and very good evening. Our Honorable Datuk Sri Insinyur Dr. Zaini Ujang, Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Water Malaysia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Riri Fitri Sari, Chairperson UI Green Metric, Dr. Yoman Suwarta, Vice Chair of Administration, Research and Development, Metric, Assistant Professor Junaidi, Vice Chair of Program Communication and Partnership, UI Green Metric, fellow university leaders, and all participants, the 7th workshop on UI Green Metric World University Rankings. It's a great pleasure for me today to welcome you on the occasion of the 7th International Workshop on UI Green Metric World University Ranking, also known as IWGM 2021. On behalf of University Putra Malaysia, I extend a warm greetings to all attendees and also participants. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be careless of me not to acknowledge that we are still very much within the greatest challenge of our lifetime, the COVID-19 pandemic. I pray and believe that we will be able to win this war that plaguing the world and will emerge victorious so that we can once again live in a world that is safe for ourselves and for our families. The pandemic is a reminder for us that our relationship with nature is an intimate one. We are the custodian of nature, and we therefore must reflect on the damages that we have caused on our environment. I believe that it is not too late for us to take heed and to correct our mistakes that have been caused by our greed for materialism. This conference, by gathering scholars from different fields of knowledge, is a step in the right direction. I certainly hope that it will be a space and time for self-reflection and for the exchange of ideas which will lead to sustainable solutions. With the organization of IWGM 2021 and through the discussion that have been included, it is hoped that the workshop will be a bridge for UPM and international universities to work together in planning for a better future for all of us. Already, through the cooperation between UPM and the Universitas Indonesia as a co-organizer of this workshop, a partnership that fulfills the 17 goals in the Sustainable Development Goals SDG of IWGM has been started. Thank you also to Honorable Dato Sri Insinyur Dr. Zaini Ujang, the Secretary General of Ministry of Environment and Water, for gracing us with his presence tonight. Last but not least, my heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to our collaborative partners and to all members of the working committee who have worked hard to ensure that IWGM 2021 is a success. Finally, I pray that the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic will not weaken our spirit in our struggle to preserve the environment. And I strongly believe that if we continue to work together, we will be able to achieve what we set out to do. May this conference run smoothly to its completion, and may all its participants receive blessing from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Ruslan. Thank you for making your time to be here. I know you're a busy man, and it's already nighttime here. I know it's evening somewhere, but it's nearly, so for some people it's bedtime. Yeah. So let's just hope that we all can stay awake for a while. So may I now invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Insinyur Riri Fitri Sari, Chairperson, UI Green Metric World University Rankings to give her welcome address.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Senior Dr. Zaini bin Ujang, Secretary General of Ministry of Environment and Water, Malaysia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Roslan bin Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor of University Putra Malaysia, Professor Nur Kamariah Nordin from Maisan, all distinguished rectors. I saw many rectors here, Professor Chahachihiko Harashima from Japan. I saw many who will be presenting today, all sustainability directors, operation, asset directors, and all university leaders. Good evening from Indonesia to more than 835 registered participants from 57 countries. First of all, we are delighted to welcome and meet you all, the stakeholder of sustainable universities in the UI Green Metric Network in the world, who have actively participated in the 7th UI Green Metric hosted by University Putra Malaysia. We should be thankful that we are here together and celebrate our hard work and achievement. 1 year has passed since we met last time virtually in Iran. Some of us have gone through the most critical moment and survived COVID-19, and some have departed. We are now still in the period of restoring and reshaping our campuses to serve the community after the Great Reset. I'm delighted to report that yesterday's steering committee meeting were attended by national coordinators from 19 countries, and our subcommittee on creating global sustainability leaders have reported the readiness of the Green Metric Network online course on global practices for achieving SDGs to be launched next month for students from 7 contributing participating countries. This is the result of last year's steering committee meeting and more than 20 meetings of professors from Brazil, Ecuador, Hungary, UAE, Indonesia, Colombia, and Tunisia. This will be the beginning of our common endeavor to save our higher education by partnering beyond countries and our planet. We welcome more universities to take part in such actions to ensure our students and staff became a real contributing member of our planetary solution. This year, our staff and students have adjusted themselves to the digital learning technology. On the other hand, as the building and estate managers, during this conference, more than 60 distinguished invited speakers are going to share many innovative solutions to maintain and extend their campuses as a small, smart city, to solve issues in setting and infrastructure, energy and climate change, waste management, water management, transportation, education, and research management. I would like to congratulate to all participants who have started to fill the UI Green Metric data into our system. We appreciate your great attention into details in making your university evidence and making it the dream place for academic community. Your effort to collect data to be used for planning and for improving your universities will be the milestone for the next achievement. We will wait until 31st of October for your Green Metric data submission. We are thankful that despite of this pandemic situation, we can still gather virtually successfully, and we thank and congratulate 60 invited speakers for their prepared papers and videos that you have been watching. My highest appreciation to all of you who have dedicated their time and affection to keep your university maintained and flourish during this pandemic. Great appreciation to university rectors, vice-rectors, Vice-Chancellor that have initiated and supported many actions in supporting to achieve 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you for leading our society to be strong and positive, keep making progress and avoiding learning loss and building the fine characters of global learners. Secondly, the COVID-19 pandemic are still making us wonder of the uncertain future. We hope that the pandemic condition can also be documented in our Global Green Campus Report. Our collaborative effort can transform our universities to be a new vibrant community. Third, today I proudly welcome all of you to our global agenda of UI Green Metric International Workshop. We welcome all leaders with their accumulative experience to be presented today and tomorrow in our breakout room. Finally, I thank University Putra Malaysia and all our supporters who have supported our work to create this annual event and also to run our yearly ranking, annual ranking. We would like to thank Professor Roslan, Professor Asmawani, and all team and for hosting this annual event. Thank you once again and wish you all successful conference and a year ahead full of achievement. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Riri. Yep, that was such a energetic speech just now. You know, it seems like you've done so much work. You know, you've not taken a break from COVID. I can see that. You know, so anyway, all the best to you also. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before inviting our keynote speaker, allow me to give a little introduction to our illustrious speaker, who is definitely not a stranger in this little corner of earth called Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Insinyur Dr. Zaini Ujang is an academic administrator, environmental engineer and scientist who attempts to blend knowledge, skills, experience and innovation in a harmonious manner. His areas of expertise include environmental engineering and management, innovation and sustainability. After graduating in chemical engineering in 1988 from University of Technology Malaysia, he took inspiration from his childhood surroundings to branch out into environmental engineering. He completed his Masters of Science, Environmental Engineering at the University of Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK, where he won an award for the best project in his Master of Science dissertation. He continued on at the university for his PhD, where he completed his doctorate in less than 3 years. He's also an alumni of Harvard Business School for Advanced Management Program in 2009. He has over 250 scientific papers in leading academic journals to his name, as well as books on environmental engineering, water sustainability, higher education, and learning innovation. He is also a registered professional engineer, Malaysia, chartered engineer, UK, chartered scientist, UK, and chartered water and environmental manager, UK. He is an honorary professor at Imperial College of London, fellow of the Royal Physiographical Society of Lund, Sweden, and research associate at the MIT. He received the highest citation for journal publication based on the Institute for Scientific Information, ISI, Citation Index for Environmental Engineering in Malaysia. He was also the first recipient of the prestigious Merdeka Award for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement in 2009. Datuk Sri Dr. Zaini's study and contributions in various environmental initiatives concerning water supply, sewage, river rehabilitation, and industrial ecology brings significant benefits to the people of Malaysia and the world. His academic research and international recognized expertise add immense value to the body of homegrown scientific research. Research into water and the environment is crucial as the country places greater importance on using natural resources sustainably. Dr. Sri Dr. Zaini's vision to advance education through the cultivation of a culture of knowledge is a positive step towards building a society which places great value on knowledge. Currently, Datuk Sri Dr. Zaini Ujang is the Secretary General, Ministry of Environment and Water, Malaysia. So after that impressive details, with great pleasure, I humbly invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Sri Insinyur Dr. Zaini Ujang to present his keynote address. Over to you, Datuk Sri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay.
Yep.
Am
okay.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good night, very good afternoon, very good morning to all of you. I'm very fortunate and grateful to be invited. I have some slides to share. Can you allow me to share, please? Yeah, I'll do that. Post disable screen sharing. Can you allow me? Technical, can you allow me to share slides? Ni tak boleh ni. Saya tak boleh share slide ni.
Boleh lagi. Zainul?
Okay, it's okay. Nampak Is that okay?
Yes, Datuk.
Yeah, okay. That's me. That was a few days younger. I took this photo during COVID. So my topic that I think important for us to consider today, from my perspective at least, is on climate action within planetary health. And I know that the vision of UI Green Metric, headed by Professor Dr. Riri Fitrisari and team, is to make sure that our campuses will be in the mode of low carbon economy. I thank Professor Ruslan Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor of UPM. UPM is the closest public university to my office. So I pass through UPM almost every day. And thank for inviting me. And my fellow colleagues from universities around the globe, welcome to Malaysia, at least virtually, for us to discuss about topics I think important for us to consider. I'm no longer an academic by profession, so I'm managing environment and water in the country. And as you know, in Malaysia, at the moment we don't have Minister of Environment and Water. So temporarily, I'm looking after the ministry overall. Kenapa saya tak boleh ni? Saya tak boleh go through. Okay. So let's talk about planetary health. What it is all about. It was an article published in Lancet a few years ago, and it was commissioned to Rockefeller Foundation to study on that. And later, it was put together by Professor Mayers and team in a solid book, and it published late last year. So I would like to talk about planetary health in the context of climate action that I think important for all university leaders to understand. Planetary health is a concept focused on interdependence of human health, animal health, and health of the environment. And if you look into the definition, I think the definition is not final. I mean, it's final yet, and people are still defining it. It is the health of human civilization and the state of the natural systems on which it depends. And the focus now is to reversing this trend by better balancing human needs. It is multidisciplinary, cross-sector, trans-border approach to change mindset and behaviors at every level from global to local. So when we started this ministry about 18 or 19 months ago, we clearly indicated that planetary health is the principle of the ministry. You can see that with our neighbors in this region. If you look into planetary health, it started with the Stockholm Group, thinking about it and identified 9 areas where we are in danger at the moment. What matters actually, these 9 components. And you look into that: climate change, biosphere integrity, land system change, freshwater use, biogeochemical flows, ocean acidification, atmospheric aerosol loading, stratospheric ozone, novel entities and whatnot. And according to the definition given by people working in this group, I'm very fortunate to be part of them now. You can see that we are exceeding the zone of uncertainty. It means that we are in high risk at the moment in 2 areas, main areas. One is biosphere integrity and geochemical flows. Geochemical flows is actually in what is related to the leaching of fertilizers and nutrients to the water bodies. As a result, we have eutrophication. Biosphere integrity, the best classical example is COVID-19. yeah, where we have genetic diversity in danger. Therefore, when the definition, I just go straight to the introduction of the book by Samuel Mayers and Howard Frumkin. They said COVID-19 is a prototypical planetary health story. The virus origin is related to our interactions with nature and wildlife, our food system, and changes in demography and technology. Lessons we are learning about controlling the pandemic underscore the importance of system thinking, the need for collective action, and the promise for rapid global behavior change. And this global pause presents an unprecedented opportunity to chart a new course. So both writers were, professors from Harvard Medical School, and they indicated that this book was late to arrive the market because they were shocked with the pandemic, COVID pandemic. And many people are at the moment trying to reflect and then try to put the incidents together in the perspective. So if you look into the practicality of planetary health, people are talking about donut economies in terms of presentation and implementation at local level. So Malaysia in particular in the near future in the very near future, I hope that by end of this year, we will be able to find at least 2 cities in Malaysia to be studied to be in the framework of donut economy. So there are 2 major components we have to identify. What is the ecological ceiling and what is the social foundation that we would like to have? And by doing that, I think this is classic for campuses, not too small. I think UPM is sizable campus to be studied and then to be managed under donut economy's perspective. Kate Raworth is based in Oxford University, so we are dealing with this group since early this or since last year, to make it happen in Malaysia. So I don't want to give lecture. I just want to relate what's going on at the moment, and all professionals in this field will realize that environmental sustainability at the moment is focused on the major currency, which is carbon. We are no longer talking about one small pollutants, but overall carbon can be, all can be transformed and represented in the carbon equivalents. Now we are talking about CO2 equivalent. And the strategic approach is as usual to reduce carbon emission. And then some places are trying to get net zero and then to increase carbon sink. Or we have 2 methodologies, green technology and green cover. And what is the system in place? The system in place is lifestyle change, as mentioned earlier in the book of Planetary Health or Circular Economy. I think this is very classical. When I travel around Malaysia, in particular, when we talk to people, I think this is the most useful slide for them to understand what's going on and how they can understand the whole perspective. I think this slide is crucial and very, very important. So if you want to read this, there is a book that I've written about 3 years ago, Eco Shift, and we go step by step how to do it. As far as Malaysia is concerned, we have committed on 2 climate actions. One is on mitigation and the other one is adaptation. I think all countries in the world are now trying to work on renewable energy and energy efficiency. So this is doable in countries like Malaysia. We are strongly trying to embark on energy efficiency. I think we can reach 30% very easily. Then renewable energy in Malaysia by 2030, it will be more than 40%. Yeah, so this is something that interesting. Plus energy efficiency, it will make the whole thing easier for us to understand. Change of transportation, recycling activities, biogas from palm oil in Malaysia in particular, and forestry. Government of Malaysia has indicated that we are going to plant another 100 million trees by 2025 since early this year. And the adaptation action is addressing flood. This is happening last week in Kedah that I was busy with, coastal protection, water and food security, and public health. This is all indicated and in our report called Biennial Update Report 3, we submitted on 30th of December 2020. So instead of writing technical papers, now I'm busy writing BUR for the country. This is our Biennial Update Report number 3 for Malaysia. You can Google BUR 3 Malaysia, so you can find about 200 pages documents, all technical details and numbers there. Okay, what is the adaptation option in countries? Then I'm going to zoom to campus. Yeah, so allow me to give overview on this and what countries like Malaysia, I think Indonesia doing the same, Thailand doing the same. Adaptation options. One is on natural and managed ecosystem, and then second is on rural landscapes. Some campuses are located in rural areas. So we have issues on disaster risk management, including irrigation and social safety net as well. But in urban areas, our main issue at the moment is converting the existing infrastructure into green infrastructure so that it will be more porous to reduce climate risk and sustainable land use planning and water management. So this is at least what's going on in Malaysia. As far as national policy is concerned, we had 4. I'm very grateful because I was chairing 2017 Green Technology Master Plan for Malaysia. And this is also, 2020 is also while I'm serving as Secretary General. And we completed our revised nationally determined contribution. This is the most important document for a country. All countries that's participating in or signatory to Paris Agreement must revise the nationally determined that we first submitted in 2016. So after 5 years, we review. So we submitted about 3 weeks ago to UN, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. I will go detail on that later. And by next year, we are going to determine when are we going to have net zero. Many people said why we are not indicating that in NDC. I personally think that it requires different exercise, different shareholder engagement, and a lot of issues to be resolved in order to arrive at lower climate commitments. So this is what's happening in Malaysia in terms of emission. You can see that we keep on increasing the emission, carbon emission. The orange color, amber color is energy sector, which is about 80%, and power generation is about 41%. Power generation is 41%, and then we have transportation is about 20%, and the rest is oil and gas sector. Yeah, so we have to decide when we say that we want to have net zero, whether you want to have oil and gas industry in the country or not. So that's big decision to be made. I think at this level, we are not yet able to make decision. But countries like Qatar and few others in Middle East, they have indicated by 2050, there is no oil and gas business in their country, something like that. Yeah. So this is tall order. So we require a very strong government to have that in place. But we had a net zero in 2004 in Malaysia. You can see that the red color, and I think the rest of the sector is not that critical. The green color at the bottom, the light green color is our land use and land use change and forestry. It is an offsetting capability. So when we design our campus, I hope that we have all this in place so that we know that our net zero is not only on offsetting values, but also on carbon emission values. To be more succinct, this is example. Countries like Malaysia, many people ask me why Malaysia is not presenting our latest results. We are, in Paris Agreement, there are 3 groups. One group is called Annex 1 countries. Second group is non-Annex 1 countries. And third group is Annex 2 countries. Malaysia and few others are considered or are in the bracket or in the group of non-Annex 1. So we have our own responsibility. We have to report in 2020 minus 4, means that our report for 2020 is for 2016. During that time, we didn't have solar energy in place. I was Secretary General in charge of energy in 2016. We just started implementing policy in 2016 or 15, 16, 17, 18. The bigger one completed in 2018. Yes, so the numbers will be different in 2020, I think, because of the injections of renewable energy, which is about 20% now. That's only from solar energy. That is excluding from hydro electric. So finally, I'm going to talk about this. If we do it correctly, sustainably, and there are a lot of things we can do, but in education, say for example, we can start with mitigation. And from mitigation, we have 2 ways in order to arrive at high opportunity, high sustainability, which is circular economy. I think many countries, they are trying to have mitigation to green lifestyle and then going to circular economy. Adaptation is very expensive. Instead of changing our structures, our water system, our food system into more greener, environmental friendly, which is very expensive. Yeah, it's easier to change people's behavior. So people are not wasting, they are consuming electricity and resources and industrial products according to the needs, not what they want. So by doing that, you can reduce up to 30-40% production or consumption. Indirectly, we can have circular economy easier in the system. Probably I have another slide. This is what countries like Malaysia is doing. We have completed our Climate Change Council, MyCAC. We have completed our NDC to UNFCCC. It's about 3 weeks ago. We have completed our low carbon cities. We have completed our low carbon mobility blueprints. Probably we can have national low carbon campuses in the future, or campuses, or depending on Professor Ruslan, if UPM interested to do it, we can have that. So easier for us to embark on it and to support. And not only that, other universities knows what we are doing. In the near future, we are trying to work on legal framework and then to have carbon market mechanism. So campuses can get extra income if they can transact their planted areas with certain species of trees. Say, for example, mangrove trees, we can have higher carbon values in terms of market, carbon market. You can transact that with local companies. We don't allow that to be transported to other countries at the moment. So that can be a revenue to universities. Big campuses like UPM can do it very easily. And we are going to review we are now reviewing our 2009 climate change policy. And next year, this is the big thing, long-term low emission development strategy, LTLEDS. This is when we decide the day or the year Malaysia can achieve net zero. Meanwhile, we are working still on adaptation plan and establishing our greenhouse gas inventory center this year. So that's all that I'm going to share with you, just to show at national level, at international level, what countries are doing at the moment. I think many countries are doing the same with different numbers and with different ambition and with different results. I would like to thank Professor Roslan for inviting me. I would like to thank Professor Riri and team for being with us tonight, and I hope that the noble effort of UI Green Metric will continue and endure despite all the challenges that we may face during this difficult time. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Datuk Sri, thank you very much for that inspiring speech. It is good to see that our environment is in good hands, yeah, under your guardian. Of course, you know, a workshop like this will never be complete without at least one photo session. So could I have all of you here to switch on your camera or webcam so that our tech guys can capture the glorious faces of our participants today with our keynote speaker. All of us, please switch on your camera. Thank you. I believe I would.
Guys. I will take the picture for the first page. Okay, smile and say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the second page.
All right, we have 11 pages here, guys.
Yes.
You have to wait for everyone to on their camera, please. Okay.
There are some people without camera, but you can still smile. You can still smile.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
without camera. Yes.
Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the next page. Keep smiling. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next one. Okay, keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Okay, keep smiling. 1, 2, 3.
This is the easiest photo session ever, I think. You just smile.
No need to count 1, 2, 3. Just
Yes.
snap.
Yeah.
Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Okay, next one.
I'm just wondering, those people in page 1 still need to smile or not?
Right now it's okay. Second last page. Okay, then last page. Okay. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much, Datuk Sri, for
Thank
making time
you.
to be with us tonight. Yeah, thank you. It's already 9 something now, going to be 10. Yeah, so thank you again. Yeah, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the signing of membership declaration of UI Green Metric Network. To facilitate the signing ceremony, I would like to call upon Dr. Nyoman Suwarta, Vice Chair of Administration, Research and Development, UI Green Metric, to take over the mic. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Nyoman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rohimi. Honorably, yang berbahagia, Datuk Sri, Senior Dr. Zaini Ujang, Prof. Roslan Sulaiman, also Prof. Asmawani, dear colleagues and friends from all over the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, greetings from Jakarta. It is great to see you again here in this annual meeting of IWGM 2020. Allow me to deliver in short of the declaration of membership UI Green Metric before we proceed to the next session. So, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. This is our declaration form. So, steering committee has prepared the slide maybe to show you that this form is for new universities who have not yet become a member of Greenmetric. So hopefully from this floor, okay, sharing. Yeah. So this is in the monitor, you can see the declaration of membership, UI Greenmetric World University Ranking Network. So this form is for universities who have not yet become a member of UI Greenmetric. And by signing this form, meaning that your universities agree to join all activities hosted or organized by UI Greenmetric, also the provision. So we noticed that some of universities who are gathered here not yet signing this membership. So please, if you are interested to join further, you can link the download. You can go to the link provided here on the right side to download the declaration form. And then one signed by your rector or your vice chancellor or your president. And you can send to our secretary, and hopefully we can get more involved on this UI Agrimetric activities by the network that already established, as Prof. already mentioned. So many activities that we will conduct this year also. Hopefully we will receive some declaration membership signing after this meeting maybe. So we will still wait for the tomorrow maybe after your decision. So thank you very much. Without further ado, I hand out back to Mr. Rohimi.
Thank you, Dr. Nyoman. We are now moving to a poster session. Please sit back, relax. Amazingly, I've not seen people drinking or eating. So I want to tell you, sit back, relax, grab a drink. You're in your own home, yeah? And something to munch. I'm sure there's something edible within reach around you. And enjoy the slide presentation on the posters involved that has been prepared for you. All right, thank you very much. I counted I think at least 18 posters there. I'm sure some or other we can actually get the link to all these posters, at least for today and tomorrow. Maybe our technical team will work on that. Thank you to the technical team. We are now going to have a 5 minutes break, yeah, for you to stretch your legs or run to the kitchen to replenish your supply of tidbits or something heavier or whatever it is that you can be done in 5 minutes. We will continue shortly, yeah, where we will come back and I will tell you how to go about to go to your breakout rooms. All right, I'm just getting go ahead. If we can continue, if nobody's moving anywhere, let me see whether I can continue. Okay. All right. Now I've been told that we can continue. After this, what's going to happen is that you're going to be moving on to your breakout rooms. We have 3 breakout rooms altogether. Yeah. So you shouldn't get into trouble. So this is what I'm supposed to tell you. For those who are using Zoom and who are supposed to be in room A, please do not leave this room that you are in now, because this is going to be room A. But those of you who are going to rooms B and C, yeah, you can click on the button that says more, and then inside there's a breakout room option. So you can choose the rooms that you're supposed to go to. There are 2 options there, I suppose, B and C. So click on that according to the sessions that you have registered for earlier. Okay. So if I can repeat, if you're A, going for session A, stay here, don't go anywhere. For those going for B and C, please go to the breakout rooms, yeah, and then click on B or C. All right, and then you will get further instructions when you get into the rooms. For those on YouTube channel, yeah, please click on the correct link to enter the selected rooms that you have registered for. Okay, I suppose that's the end of our opening ceremony. Thank you and enjoy the discussion sessions and the rest of the program in this workshop. Goodbye. Have fun.
Sorry, we can't see the breakout rooms. It has only the rename option.
You can see. Okay. It says there join breakout room. Can you see it?
I can't see it now.
No.
Oh, okay. That's the button with more on it. Can you see it at the bottom? You have share screen, reactions, and then more. Can you see it? Right at the bottom, right hand corner, just before leave.
Yes, it's there. Thank you.
Okay, good. Just click on it and you should be able to choose whether B or C. Yep.
I'm not able to do that.
You're not able to do that. Okay.
No.
Have you found the button?
No, I have applications before.
Okay.
I don't have this button on mine. Can I just go and I don't know how I can go to the other session then.
Which room you're supposed to go? Which
Hmm.
room we can help you? Yeah.
3C.
Okay.
C
Room
and
C.
your name
Yes.
is Anna.
Anna, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Take note.
I think I've just managed.
Hello. Please, I have this question. What about session
I
A?
can't find room C.
Oh, berarti A tetap di sini. Oke, stay here.
If you click on room B, room C will come out. So, you know, there's an arrow next to room B. Click on it, you'll go to room C. And click on that room C.
What about room A?
This is now room A. The one that you're in now is room A. Stay here. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you. Thanks.
Where's the link of room C? I can't find that.
Room C. If you look at room B, if you found room B, right? There's an arrow on the left-hand side. Click on the arrow, room C will come out, and you click on room C. Okay? Is there an arrow the room next to room B? Can you see it? Yes, yes, this is room A. This is room A. Yes. Christina.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, in the screen, I was written as co-chair, but I was told that I'm actually the chairman, and I don't know whether Mr. Rafael Cordova is here in this room. But anyway, I will start to chair this session. So for this room, the issues is issues and innovation for setting and infrastructure management in universities in time of pandemic. There will be 4 speakers. The first one is Professor Habib M. Pardon, representative of President of King Abdul Aziz University from Saudi Arabia. and then Professor Dr. Abbas Fadil Hassan from representative of President of University
Recording
of Babylon
stopped.
from Iraq. And then Dr. Laszlo Giarmati, representative of rector from University of Szeged, Hungary, and then Robert Segar, representative of Chancellor University of California, Davis, United States. Are you all there? Are you all here? Everyone from all the speakers here?
Yes,
Professor
this is Robert
Habib?
Segar. I'm here.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm here too.
Professor Habib, are you here?
Abbas is connected to another meeting, so I will speak in his behalf.
Okay. As you know, that you only have 5 minutes maximum to present your presentation. I think you can start, Dr. To represent Professor Habib and Pardon, please. Time and screen is yours.
Second speaker dulu, Pak.
Not ready yet? Okay. Maybe the second speaker, Professor Dr. Abbas Fadil Hassan from University of Babylon, Iraq.
Yes, I am here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
I would like to convey to you the creation of the University of Babylon, Iraq, especially the Chancellor of the University for your 7th workshop, wishing you continue success in enhancing and healthy and safe environment in education institutions around the world, in line with the principle of partnership and international cooperation to save humanity and within the vision of common destiny and according to the United Nations agenda of 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are internationally issued and approved by the United Nations 2015 to 2030. The Super International Universities has launched to contribute effectively and to achieving these goals internationally within their educational and research plan and program in line with the program of Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Iraq 2018 to 2022 and the belief of senior leaders at the University of Babylon for more than a decade by giving a great importance to topics of sustainable development, its vitality and effectiveness in the several areas. The University of Babylon has embarked on the commitment to prepare many projects and programs, local and international, within a specific line time, so that this event crystallized until the University of Babylon topped the Iraqi public and private universities in a global special ranking related to green environment and sustainable development, such as UI Green metric since 2017 and the impact ranking since 2018. Also, it is remarkable to mention that the Sustainable University of Babylon website has been launched since the beginning of the last decade in 2008 to document all the activities, events, and steps that took place within the university strategic plan for sustainable development, and that one of the most important of the events is its annual commitment to holding the international conference, the National Coordination Conference for Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Nuclear for Safety and Security, in cooperation with the Agency for International Development. This event has a profound impact of our university in achieving a friendly environment, as well as the university coming to its academic role by holding dozens of workshops, seminars, and lectures to spread knowledge about the sustainability of cities or recent topics related to public health, quality education, energy consumption, global warming, enhancing water resource and consumption, reducing gender inequality, equality with the disabled, and promoting just, peaceful, and strong societies. Finally, the University of Babylon will continue to enhance its setting and infrastructure and will work diligently to achieve a green environment and sustainable development that combined with criteria of UI green metric and sustainable development goals of United Nations. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Dr. Aladdin Abbas, for your presentation. For you who has any question for the speakers, please keep it first, and we continue for the other presenter first, and then we can have a question and answer. And the second presenter, Professor Habib M. Fardon, are you here? No, maybe we continue to Dr. Laszlo Kiarmati from University of Szeged, Hungary.
Yes, hello everyone, I'm here.
Yes, please, you have 4 minutes.
Lovely, 4 minutes. Can I share my screen, please?
Yes,
Is
you
it
can.
possible? Because I have a brief presentation about the key findings of the evaluation of the carbon footprint of the Study and Information Center. Can you see my presentation? This is my first.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, lovely. So my presentation is going to about the evaluation of the carbon footprint of the Study and Information Center, which is one of the main buildings of the University of Szeged. In a non-pandemic time, we have around 3,000 to 4,000 people visiting this area. And this is one of the main buildings. It's a conference place, a study place, an educational place, and we have also student services. We decided in 2019 that we would like to evaluate the whole carbon footprint of this building, and we found to monitor all 3 scopes, and direct and indirect emissions as well. We monitor the natural gas consumption of the building, the vehicle fleet fuel consumption, the electricity consumption, and so on, waste management, business traveling, and so on. So maybe I just drop right into the findings and the data. We found that almost half of the carbon footprint of this building comes from the energy usage. So if management would like to reduce the carbon footprint of this building, there are the target areas we should focus on: energy consumption, travels of the employees, which is, I think, it's a really interesting finding, and then input materials as well. Well, when we talk about carbon footprint, we also have to mention that we are talking always about minimum results, because the carbon footprint is really demanded system, and it's always depended on where do you put the system boundaries. It's really interesting right now. There's a little bit misconfusion in the literature right now. How can we measure carbon footprint? There are a lot of ways, but one more thing is really important. If you find the methodology, you have to stick with it, and you have to stick with it because without that, you cannot compare the data annually or with other buildings as well. But in our findings, we thought that I have mentioned earlier that almost half of the environmental impact caused by the use of energy sources, and that I mentioned earlier, available resources should be used to reduce fossil fuel usage and electricity consumption on the first place by the management. We found, because we monitored the carbon footprint of the traveling of the employees and the visitors of the building as well, that the CO2 emission from employees' daily car usage are slightly higher than the car usage of the daily visitors, but there's a 30-cent difference in favor of the visitors in the sample size, which I think is really interesting. And we monitored also the environmental impact of the eating at the workplace, and this environmental impact is nearly the same as the usage of cars by the daily commuters. But it's really important that I said, if we monitor carbon footprint, we have to see that octane values are minimum values, as defining system boundaries makes it necessary to exclude the carbon footprint of certain factors in the calculation methodology. And if we have to compare the data in one building, we have to see that there was a COVID-19 epidemic that significantly changed the usage of the building operation, the visitors of the building. And it's really interesting that there was a huge drop in the carbon emission of the buildings last year, but it's hard to say what will be in the future when the COVID-19 pandemic will be over. We will get all the new carbon footprint values back again, or there will be a slight decreasement in this value, because the management building system and the operator manager are slightly changing the operation scheme because of the pandemic. I think it's a very interesting question, and I suppose that I'm end of my time. So thank you very much. And of course, if there's any question, I'm more than happy to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you manage your time very well, and your presentation is very interesting. And actually, I have a question later on, maybe.
Okay.
Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Robert Seeger, representative of University of California, Davis, to present your papers, please, 4 minutes.
Hi, thank you very much. And thanks to all of the organizers of this conference and for convening us across the world, again, evening, afternoon, and morning. So my name is Robert Seeger, and I work at the University of California, Davis. My presentation that I submitted is about how we are working to transform our campus landscape. A little bit about the university. The University of California, Davis is the largest university in the University of California system. It's about 3,700 acres, which is about 1,500 hectares. It's composed of agricultural lands and environmental reserve lands, and of course our urban campus core. We have about 14 to 16,000 trees on the campus. We're in the interior valley of California, which is the hottest and warmest part of California. So we rely on our tree canopy for the health and shade and all the benefits that it brings to the habitability at our campus. And we've done assessments of our tree canopy with our scientists and landscape ecologists on the campus, and found that over 40% of the species of our tree canopy are not suitable for the climate adapted landscape to which we are headed as California becomes drier and weather becomes more extreme. You may have read about the extreme wildfires in California that we're experiencing now, both in the coastal ranges and in the mountains as the result of severe drought. So on the campus, we have a big challenge to transform our tree canopy and our landscape to a more climate adapted landscape. And one of the innovations that we're using is a program where we engage students at our university. We call it Learning by Leading. And it's a program whereby our staff, botanists and horticulturalists and ecologists form teams of students and teach them to both leadership skills and environmental skills to help us actually transform the physical landscape of the campus. We have teams of students. Each team has a staff or a faculty mentor, and then 2 student leaders who have been trained to lead teams, and then 15 to 20 students on each team. And there are teams in sustainable horticulture, teams in waterway management, teams in ecological land management, even teams in environmental communication. to try to get the message out to others on the campus and in our community. So each of those teams is actively involved in transforming our campus into a more climate adapted landscape. And we have many examples of converting lawn areas into sustainable drought tolerant plants, of converting our tree canopy from species that are not climate adapted to species that are. So I'll just wrap up by saying we put together a 70-year plan, 7-0, to transform the tree canopy of the campus, about 20 years to turn over, convert the canopy, and about 40 to 50 years for that canopy to mature. And in the process, our students gain the leadership skills that it takes to go out and become change makers in their own cities and their own environments. So we have a saying on this program that we say, if you co-create, that you co-own, that co-creators become co-owners. So in the process of transforming our landscape to a more sustainable one, we're also creating student leaders for tomorrow. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. And it's good to know that University of California, Davis is the largest campus in California. It's good to know that. And 1,500 hectares. Wow, it's very huge area. For the last speaker, I would like to call Professor Habib.
Professor Ambarianto, sorry for interrupting you. We have a question in chat.
Yes, please.
So the question is, it was for the speaker from Szeged University. And so for Laszlo, from University Indonesia, they are asking, how does your campus reduce carbon footprint in related to campus program and human behavior and lifestyle? It is in the chat. Laszlo, if you could answer.
Yes, of course. Well, it's really interesting
actually,
because...
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, there is still one speaker. After we finish all the speakers, there will be a question and answer.
Okay, no problem. Good. I can answer it after the last speaker. It's no problem.
Yes, yes, please. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm calling Professor Habib M. Fardon, representative from King Abdul Aziz University, Saudi Arabia. Are you here? Or maybe someone representing him? It seems no. So okay, so we can start a discussion for question and answer. Dr. Kiarmati, you can answer the questions, please.
Okay, I'm here. Well, it was quick. So the question was about how does your campus reduce carbon footprint related to campus program and human behavior and lifestyle? Well, as I am working at the Study and Information Center for 7 years, I can say that in a non-pandemic situation, we have events related to sustainability in every month in the student semester session of the university. We have a lot of events. For example, we have events that shows the renewable energy systems that we use at the Study and Information Center, and we can give tips and hints for the students that how can they apply the technology in their own housing. We have events and trainings for small things. For example, training for students and little children have to have to collect waste selectively. We have whole events for the Earth Day, Earth Hour events, and of course those events have carbon footprint as well. Because, for example, because of one event, the Study and Information Center exceed its opening hours. But on the other hand, if we can give the message to the students, to the visitors, and they can apply those hints as tips, and on the long run, the carbon footprint of the community can lower and decrease. This is our mission, and this is our believing. So, of course, if we create a program for sustainability, for reducing policies, there's always a funding side of that program. And on the long run, I can say that I'm happy to create some budget from the management budget for sustainability effort programs, because we are part of a university, and I'm convinced that the university has a mission that related to the sustainability, and every university building and every university building owners, managers, and employees should adopt those challenges as well. Have I answered the question? This is always my question.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, lovely.
Any more questions? Any other questions? Please raise your hand.
There is another question in
Mr.
the chat.
Eka Pradipta, if you have any question, please make it short, and please make sure to whom your question intend to.
Yes, thank you for the time. I want to ask to Bob Segar from UC Davis. Thanks for the sharing about the engagement, the community to in landscape in your university. And I want to ask about how do you did you have any suggestion or recommendation, especially to high level of maintenance of the tree, especially rare trees with they have specification or high cost and resource? How do you have a recommendation to keep and reduce the mortality for the trees? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do my best to answer that question. Thank you. One of the things that we've done on our campus is of that very large 1,500 hectare campus, we have a arboretum or botanical garden, which is about 100 acres or about 40 hectares. So in that area of the campus, we dedicate special resources to maintaining both native trees and rare trees in our environment. So we have a special horticultural staff in our arboretum botanical garden, and that arboretum has really become a test bed for the ideas I was talking about, where we train students and to transform our landscape. So it's a very valuable resource that that does a lot of work for us in the in terms of protecting rare trees and growing trees to spread across the entire campus.
Is that answer your question, Mr. Eka?
Yes. It's give me some insight, because we also have some like urban forest or arboriculture in our campus that need a high cost and maintenance. I think thanks for the information and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions, please? We in schedule, we still have 5 minutes to have a discussion. Okay, Mr. Nicolas Diaz.
Hi, thank you. Well, I'm from the University of Chile, so I have a question for Robert Segar. Because we have like a very similar problem than you. We have like a drier and hotter weather here. So I wonder how did everything start? So how did you set the program? If it's related to a strategy of the university or a plan, because I'd love to see that happening here, and I think we can try to set something arguing carbon sequestration, for example, or adaptation. So that's the question. How did you set that up, and what's related to? Thanks.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the question. I can get you some information on both of our programs, and there really are two programs that evolved somewhat independently that we combined. The one, because I direct campus planning and environmental stewardship for the university, our office saw it as our responsibility to assess our campus landscape in terms of its climate adaptation. And so that led to what we call the Living Landscape Adaptation Plan, where we assessed all of our species on the campus and are putting in motion an active transformation of the canopy. We found that many of the tree species planted on our campus were already at the edge of their range. They were not fit for the environment. And then with the more extreme pressures of climate that we're experiencing now, many of those trees are failing, or we know they will fail. So that was one effort. And the second effort really was led by our Arboretum, which led to this student program that we call Learning by Leading. And it's really the combination of those two things that gave us confidence that, because it's such a massive undertaking to think of transforming such a large campus landscape, but when the Arboretum developed these programs to really use the people power of students, and students get so much out of these programs because they aren't just manual jobs, they're really learning leadership skills. And that's what attracts students to these programs, is the opportunity to lead teams, to interact with the public, to interact with faculty in a new way, and to really do hands-on work. And so it's putting those two things together that gives us confidence that we can make significant progress. So I'd be happy to forward information about both of those programs.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is a question from Uwin Raden Intan. Yeah. How do we evaluate the influence of carbon footprint to air pollution? What kind of indicators do we use for that? Thank you. I think this question is to Mr. Giarmati. Dr. Giarmati.
Yes, okay. And there's another question which related to the ratio of carbon footprint between faculty and students. I am going to give that answer into the chat box, so it will be valid and exact. And is the second question, how do we evaluate the influence of carbon footprint to air pollution? What kind of indicators do we use for that? Thank you. Well, we used a method called the bill and carbon method, where we have to put every detailed answer into the calculation program, and finally it given an answer for the direct and indirect carbon footprint. For example, the direct carbon footprint, which comes from the fuel consumption, it is easily monitored because we know how much amount of natural gas we use for heating, how much electricity we use for cooling, and it's a direct. There's a direct link between the carbon emission and the natural gas we have used. But on the other hand, air pollution and so on. Well, we are in a city, Szeged is the third largest city in Hungary, and if we come to the air pollution, we always have to talk about the traffic system of the city, how many car users are, how they commute, where they leave the car. So I think at the university level we have two challenges. First of all, we have to convince the people who are using cars to find another less pollution alternative, and of course we have to always install new technologies and for the building that can reduce the direct carbon emission of the fossil fuels. I think there are those two challenges, and we have to work on them in parallel all the time.
Thank you. I just saw someone was raising hand, but it's gone now. You still want to ask any questions? Dr. Ahmed Maher, please.
Yes, good morning, Prof, and thank you for your efforts and your organization efforts. I appreciate that help. My voice is clear for you? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. Here my question is the Prof before 1 minute speak about direct and indirect carbon footprint. I want to ask him if I can calculate my my footprint calculation through a web like online web like EBA calculation. Is that right? Is that right way for calculation my campus footprint, or I have to calculate it through measure some parameters of carbon dioxide inside my campus, or indirect to collect the data from electricity or from transportation and everything in my campus, and then go with this data through any web like EBA, it's a trust web, to calculate my footprint. Is that right way? I need help from participants here. Thank you.
Thank you. Please. I think Dr. Diarmati, I think it's for you.
Well, basically, there are some really simple carbon footprint sorry. Sorry, I'm here. Sorry for the interruption, I'm here. So basically there are some really simple carbon footprint systems in the can found in online, and it is easy to find if we use natural gas. We find it on the documentation of the university, how many carbon footprint does it pollute in the air. But the tricky part is not the direct carbon footprint, but the indirect carbon footprint. And there are a lot of, it's getting really harder to understand how can, for example, buying your laptop transform into carbon pollution measurement system. And those are used by experts. So for example, when we calculated the carbon footprint of the Study and Information Center, we used the bilan carbon system, which was created by the French Environmental Agency. And we have an expert team who gathered the data from us. They used the calculator, and after that, they reported the results. So I would say that around half of the job can be done alone, but for the good and usable and monitorable results, there has to be some expert team. There's a list at the internet where you can find which carbon footprint methods are highly accepted internationally, and after that you can find that whether there's a related calculator program on the internet, or there's an agency all around you, near you, who can use those methods.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. We are already almost 10 minutes past, so I will stop here. I would like to thank to all three speakers for sharing your knowledge and your university as well as your programs that you have done so far. Thanks again. Shall we give them virtual applause to them? Virtual applause. I don't know what it should feel. Thank you very much. And I'll give back to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Aladdin.
They're all. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I am
Hello,
Ahmed. Yeah, I hear
welcome
you.
to session 2A. I think we have reached the time for my speaking. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for participating in the workshop. The chair of this session is, let me first invite the chair, Professor Koidi Korba from University of South Tennessee. Is he here? I think he is not here.
Hello.
Professor Korba, welcome. Welcome. You are the chair. Welcome.
Yes. Hello.
I was lost in the virtual reality.
So, shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So, hello everybody. I'm really happy to see some familiar faces, some friends from the network, and discovering new friends and seeing that our network is getting bigger. We are moving to session 2A, entitled Issues on Innovation for Water Management in Universities in the time of pandemic. I'm chairing this session with Mr. Vincent Beiser. Hello, and we have 4 speakers from Chinese Taipei, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Malaysia. Our first talk will be presented by Professor Chang Xian Tai from National Pingtung University of Science and Technology, Chinese Taipei. Are you here?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm just checking the next ones and getting to you just right after. Professor Yayu Khadija from Indonesia.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Professor.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Welcome. Dr. Mahfuza Parveen.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah,
nice to see
hello.
you. And finally, Dr. Zida Fatima from Malaysia.
Hi, Prof. I'm here. How are you?
Oh, great. So we are full of presenters. You have 4 minutes each one, and we will move to the questions right after. So Professor Chang Xian Tai,
Yeah.
would you please start?
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Chang Xian Tai from National Pingtung University of Science and Technology, Taiwan. Today, I would like to share our experience about the water management strategy on campus. You see, this topic is become more and more important due to the climate change. For example, this year, the dry season in our campus extends from 3 months to 6 months. However, the rain still increase. For example, from the August 1 to August 10, the total amount of the rain is more than 1,200 millimeters. That is nearly half of the yearly raining. So you see that we met a great challenge about the water management. Fortunately, in the past few years, we already start update our facility and the utility so that even we met the climate change. Yeah, actually the damage is very minor, and we can restore to normal condition in a very short time. So today I would like to share our experience and what kind of the facility and the utility we use for the water conservation and for the water efficiency and the water recycling. Actually, we not only to do the hardware modification, and we also do some improvement in our education so that our staff and our students can understand how important of this issue and try to do some practical way and also try to have some innovation idea so that we can meet more challenges in the future. And more of that is we also extend our experience to our local community that we located in the Pindong County. And we have some kind of the very innovation way and to help our local community so that we can meet the challenges. So that is what I want to talk in today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, second speaker, we have Professor Nyayu Khadija from Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Nyayu Khadija from UIN Raden Fatah Palembang. In this presentation, I will discuss about the implementation of washing program in sustainable water management at UIN Raden Fatah Palembang. I will start this presentation by explaining about the story of participation of UIN Raden Fatah in UGM metric World University Rankings. We started participating in UGM metrics in 220, but alhamdulillah, UIN Raden Fatah got a satisfactory result by rank 45th nationally and 350 globally, as well as rank 4th among PTKI all over Indonesia. This far and hopefully forward, UIN Raden Fatah will always commit to be a green and sustainable university. Now let me tell you about washing programs. Ensure the ability of water for current academic community as well as to ensure its availability in the future. UIN Raden Fatah implements a water management system called the washing program. Washing stands for water access, sanitation, hygiene, and integration water access. Water Access is a program for UIN Raden Fatah academic community to easily access the water on campus for daily activities. Sanitation is a program that ensuring the environmental quality of the campus to meet health requirements. For example, drinking water monitoring, including the quality, quantity, and the utilization of the water. Hygiene is a program that is established to provide health for campus's residents by prioritizing health and prevents the disease transmission through clean drainage, clean water, and treated wastewater. Integration water access is the availability of access to clean and hygiene water is directly integrated in central office management under the control of general department. One of the objectives of washing program is to reuse the domestic wastewater as well as liquid waste in laboratory, which employed to improve water quality in the university environments. There are 5 programs implemented, namely revitalization of clean water infrastructure, materialization of clean water supply, water use program, improving surface water quality, and then drainage and canalization. Based on the explanation, I can state that the washing program of Wind Raden Plata Palembang is a form of implementing sustainable water management. With the washing program policy, campus residents can easily access clean water for their daily activities. Installation of the process unit increasing the efficiency of the budget saving on the use of clean water. I think that's all. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you very much. So the third presentation is made by Dr. Mahfouza Parveen from Bangladesh.
Okay.
Please.
Oh, Assalamualaikum and good evening from Bangladesh actually. Myself, Dr. Mahfouza Parveen, Assistant Professor and working at Environmental Science and Disaster Management Department of Daffodil International University, which is one of the leading private university in Bangladesh actually. So today actually I will present a total scientific type of work and which have done in our laboratory, in our Environmental Science Laboratory in Daffodil International University. So the title is Improvement of Wastewater Quality of Dholeshuri River, Bangladesh using Submerged Macrophyte. So this river actually situated just beside our university premises or like our university areas. So that's why I was interested about that river's work, this type of work. And among the 17 sustainable goals, my research work or our research work is highlighting the goal number 6, the clean water. So you all know that actually the Bangladesh is a riverine country and also the industrialized country. And most of our industrial area is building just beside the riverside and without taking any proper, without thinking any type of environmental concern. So they are polluting the river water and it will become a great problem in future. Already we are facing this problem and one of our mighty river Buriganga, its water is already polluted by the tannery waste. But recently that tannery industries, those are shifted in the Shabar area and near just beside the Dholeshuri river area. So that's why that is a big concern for us. And treating this polluted water is very expensive. Like if we use the chemical coagulation or any type of chemical method, so it is sometimes very expensive and very difficult to apply. So that's why we are thinking about some other topic, other like a natural remediation topic. So we have applied a submerged macrophyte named Egeria densa. So what is submerged macrophyte? I have explained details in my presentation, which already uploaded in the website. So submerged macrophyte is a aquatic type of plant, which is occurring just below the water level. So we used submerged macrophyte named Egeria densa, and we have collected those river water and bring to our laboratory. So after that, we have treated those polluted water with that submerged macrophyte. And after 10 days, we have find out that the plants, those can survive in those polluted water. By their morphological study, we have find out that. So, and also the initial water quality, physical chemical parameters of water and the final water quality, we have compared this plant can remove some toxic elements from that river, from that water, especially the chromium type of elements. So we all know that chromium is very bad for our health and also for our environment, not only for aquatic environment, but also the land environment also. So that's why that was a preliminary experiment, and we have find out that okay, this plant have some ability to purify that water. So in future, this is a laboratory based work. So in future, we have planned to use this research results in field based work, and we will apply this research output surrounding our university premises also. So though the COVID, because the last 1 year it was COVID time and it was pandemic time, we all know, it was very difficult for us to do the laboratory work and also the field work. But despite of those difficulties, we have successfully conducted those our research work, and hopefully we will use this work in future in broad way. So that's all from me, actually.
Thank you very much. And the last talk is from Malaysia, Dr. Zida Fatima Muhammad. Please.
Hello, hi. Okay, thank you so much. Hi, and greetings of peace to everyone around the world, yeah? And it's great to be here with the international campus sustainability community. First of all, thank you to the organizers for inviting University of Malaya to share some insights today under the session. I have been asked to represent the university. My name is Zida, and I'm the principal coordinator for the Water Warriors Living Lab. Basically, the content of the presentation that we have uploaded was divided into 3 parts. First, we provided a brief background on how University Malaya was using Living Lab as one of the main campus sustainability approach in the campus within our unique context as a city campus. So we are a campus located in the capital city of Kuala Lumpur. Then we deep dive into the specific experience and strategy of Water Warriors. It is our dedicated campus sustainability living lab in integrated water management. And finally, we ended the presentation with some key insights. So basically, Water Warriors is a living lab that is responsible for water management part of our eco-campus. And this is related to SDG 6 on clean water and sanitation, and SDG 14, life below water. We cover both resource side of water management, where we conduct conservation and restoration efforts of our water bodies like lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams. And I believe that other universities have that as well. And also the demand side of water management in terms of reducing water consumption and increasing efficiency of water use. So we try to have an integrated water management approach. In the first 2 years, we started off as we are a bit different. We are a bit unique in a sense because we started off as a grassroots movement within the campus, like an NGO of sorts, before we were upgraded into a campus sustainability living lab in 2015. So our activities have grown by leaps and bounds for almost 8 years now. And we have come to the stage where we are trying to be more independent by also operating as a university-linked social enterprise, so we can, sort of transfer what we have learned within the campus to the external community. So over the years, we have assisted university in achieving improved scores in the UI Green Matrix in terms of water management. And for the past 2 years, we have been very fortunate to achieve 100% score. So the gist of the presentation is our sharing of our application of the hardware, software approach. That is the title of our paper. So basically, this is a dynamic and integrated approach where we consciously try to combine the conventional hardware technological approach and the software approach in terms of managed social processes, in terms of institutions, policy, regulation, finance, together with the so-called hardware approach, the HEART, H-E-R-T. So hardware here refers to the organic and volunteer-based social processes driven by internal motivation based on shared local values. So in other words, we believe that yes, we can, use science, technology, policy, and management strategies that we need to achieve the UI Green Matrix, but these are governed by how politically agreeable they are. And a good political process can only be managed when we have a good hardware foundation that is based on a strong shared local values. And we believe that each campus has a unique shared value. And our argument is that this hardware foundation can be consciously cultivated. So in the interest of time, I won't elaborate on this, but we invite you to kindly read our detailed sharing in the conference paper and our full presentation. I guess that is all for our 3-minute sharing, and we look forward for the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank my 4 colleagues for these excellent presentations. I'd like also to say that I believe truly that we have the most important session here, because water is perhaps the most important pillar of sustainability. It's right management, it's good management is very good for next generations, but also today's, because we can avoid a lot of problems today, even some political and military problems because of water. So thank you all for sharing with us a very inspiring experiences. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but I would like to ask our colleagues who wants to ask some question. Otherwise, I will ask mine.
Yes, I have one question. Sure.
Please, please.
Okay, thank you for the time. I have one question for our colleagues from Professor Ayu, and then the second question for Professor Jida from Malaysia. Do you have any more information or data about the economic benefit and non-economic benefit from the implementation of integrated water management in campus? Thank you.
Thank you. So your question was for our colleague from Indonesia, precisely, or?
Sorry?
Your question was for?
Yes, my question, one question, but for two speaker from our colleagues from property.
Okay.
From Raden Pata University, and then the same question for Professor Jida from Malaysia, I think.
So who wants to start? Please.
I have said already my question.
Okay.
Yes. With whom?
Okay, I can share first. Probably I can respond first. Is that okay?
Please.
All right.
Yes.
So thank you, Prof, for asking that question. I guess for water, when we talk about the economic, impact is in terms of water, savings that we can gain from water efficiency and reducing our water consumption. So that kind of savings is, quite significant in the sense, if you manage to do that. But also for water warriors, we are also interested in the conservation of our water bodies. And actually what we have done is actually we have, done a collection of all this plastic waste that we have collected from our, from the rivers, not only within the campus, but outside of the campus. And we have actually upcycled the plastics and turned it into, products as well. So that is one of the indirect way that we actually, sort of create income generation from sort of like, from waste. But mostly the economic implication is in terms of reducing water consumption and the savings that we can gain from that. Yeah.
Thank you. Next answer.
Okay, thank you very much from your question. The economic, I think it is about efficiency of water use at UIN Raden Fatah Palembang. With the implementation of washing programs, the efficiency of water use at UIN Raden Fatah Palembang is currently quite high. Based on data, maybe can be displayed this. No. Yeah. Based on data for 220 and 221, water use efficiency, which is 93.33%. For toilets utilization and 85% for sinks. Because there is additional building in 221 from 270 at 220 to be 630 at 221 for the toilet.
Okay, Dr. Mahfuza?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so my question is to Professor Jida, Malaysia, University of Malaysia. Okay, you just answered that. Okay, you have collected lots of plastics from your surrounding university's premises. Okay, so after collecting those plastic, what are you doing? Are you recycling those, or you are just jumping another place, or like, what are you doing actually with that plastic?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we try to highlight is, about the issue of plastic pollution. So Malaysia is actually contributing a lot in terms of, marine plastic pollution, and most of this plastic comes from, from the land area, from our rivers and all that. So one of the things that we try to do is we collect those plastics, and what we did was we upcycle those plastics. So we collect those plastic, and we melt them and turn them into resin, and then we sort of upcycle into different kinds of how do you call it, souvenir materials. So for example, we even turn it into we have a machine that we turn it into a keychain with the emblem of our university. So we can actually sell it to our students, saying that yes, this comes from the university, love the university, but also try to take care of the environment as well. So we try to make it meaningful. So that's where the hardware dimension comes in. You not only look in terms of the technical solution, but you also connect it to what connects to the heart as well. So that's how we actually have a machine to do that, a small machine, but we also work with the Faculty of Engineering to make, a bigger production of those items that we want to sell.
Okay, thank you. Maybe later I will contact with you.
Great.
Okay.
That's the meaning of a network.
Yeah.
So if my co-chair, Mr. Dinser, wants to participate with us, please feel free. Yeah? We have several questions. Another one from for Dr. Zida. What is the effective approach to get the hardware buy-in and widely contribute towards SDG in general? So I don't know if you have some answer to this question. Ask it on the chat room.
Okay, I can do it very quickly.
Yes.
So this has been actually elaborated in my presentation. So basically what we did was we started with the most important water body in our campus, which is the lake. We have a lake called Lake Varsity that is located within the heart of the campus. So what we tried to do is that lake was polluted when we started in 2013. So what we tried to do, we tried to re-enchant the campus community to know our water bodies again. People forget about our lakes. In Malaysia, I don't know about other countries, some of our river has been channelized and people think that it's a drain, but it's actually a river. And people forgot that it's a river. So what we need to do is we need to re-enchant them and say that these are alive, these are live, living environment, and we try to bring back the history, the tradition, and local culture that is related to those water bodies. So we started with the lake, and then we moved to the river, and then we tried to develop various communication materials, videos about, the value of the lake and the rivers. And then we try to increase local knowledge and community sense of place by doing community cleanup, citizen science activities, numerous educational awareness programs. So once we get all of the members of the community know about the water bodies, then we can start the hardware advocacy, saying that we need to save our river, we need to save our lake. But by that time, they already love, they know the value of the the water bodies, and it's easier to convince them. And once you convince them about that, then you can talk about energy water efficiency and reduction and all that. So so that's where we start with the hardware, and then the hardware and the software comes much more naturally. That's our experience.
Great, thank you. Actually, I had a question for you, but since you got 3 questions, I will ask a question for our colleague from Chinese Taipei, Professor Chang Xian Tai. If you hear me, I would like to know how did you manage to get the local community involved? Because one big issue is to make the university synchronized, if you can say it, with the local community to move in the same direction and make sustainability something bigger and not only a small experience for professors or researchers. How did you manage that?
Okay, good. This year we suffer a drought, yeah, a 6-month drought, and in Taiwan, every country lack the water, but not in Pingtung County, in the play our campus, because we have civil engineering, and the professor at that department, they cooperation with the community, local community, building artificial lake in Chaozhou, that is in the Pingtung County, so that we have no problem about use of the water. Also, we have the engaged in one part of the engineering called the underground groundwater collection corridor, so that the people at the local county, they know how we contribute to them, so they would like to share our experience with them, and so that more easier for the university to work with the local people. Yeah.
Oh, great. So 2 experiences, 2 lakes. I mean, since we have a lake in Sus, I mean, we need to start with a swimming pool, and then we will see if we can make it bigger.
Yeah, and another thing is, I hope the pandemic can over next year, because next year we will host the meeting in Taiwan. I do hope that everyone can join us and to stay in our campus, so I can invite you to see how the artificial lake, how the construction, and how the underground the water river, how we built in that. Yeah, and that will be very interesting, I think.
We look forward for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I have also a question for my colleague from our colleague from Bangladesh. I would like to know, did you think about the cost of your solution? I mean, sometimes we have good research solutions, but when we move to the industrial level, it becomes more difficult. So the cost and the industrial level, I mean, treating a lot of water. Did you
yeah, actually, my master's and PhD work is this actually. So I did lots of research on this topic in Japan, Saitama University, Japan. So I wanted to apply those research in my country. So actually not that much cost, because I am not treating that water, like I'm not collecting those water in my lab and treating and again like filled up that one, not like that. My plan or goal is to introduce those plants, those submerged macrophyte plant, aquatic plant in that river. So I need to, in laboratory, I need to find out that which plant is surviving until which type of pollution, because some plants are they are surviving in different types. They have different characteristics. So in my PhD work, I have worked on 5 plants. So in future, I will try to try the plants which are like growing in Bangladesh environment. So I will just introduce those plants. So that is not cost effective. That's why actually I choose this topic, and I think it will work. So
hopefully.
Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah. Thank you very much. And my last question is for our colleague from Indonesia about your 5 programs. Who funded that? I mean, we all want to implement some sustainability programs, but they cost also a lot. So do you have some national funding program or international one, or was it just a local effort from your university? Professor Radin, did you hear me? Professor Khadija Nyayu, did you hear me?
Thank you very much. I think about funding from the governments. I think we are Wida dan Fatah Palembang is one of the state university. In it, there is funding or budget from governments for SDB for building the infrastructure and facilities for how to build okay, we do collect. Oh, we do collaboration with several regional corporation in Palembang, in Indonesia, especially from Palembang. I think it's funding from government and from collaboration with several corporations.
Okay, thank you very much. We have also a question from Mr. Asang Hidayat. Was it right?
Yes, thank you, Sheikh. I have one more question for our colleagues from Malaysia, from Jeddah. Do you have any university program for educating surrounding people, I mean community, in saving water? I mean, how the people use the water efficiently? Maybe you have any program for that?
Yes, we do. Of course, we started off with the conservation of water bodies. So we started with the love of the rivers and the lakes. But we have for several years now started working on trying to look into reducing water consumption, increasing water efficiency. So what we have done is one of our most I think popular program is Mr. Timble, where we put the water constrictor in the at each of the pipe, and we make it ourselves. It's in-house, and what we do is we started off with all the suraus in the campus, because we have about even though we have one mosque, but we have about 50 suraus, small suraus, so we start with that, talking about wudu, talking about values. People always waste water.
Yes.
Of course, at some level, it works, and then we also teach. We work with the faculty of Islamic, the Academy of Islamic Studies, to to teach people on how to take ablution in a very water saving manner. But I must say there are challenges as well. Some people just they take out the water, the Mr. Timble out. So it is a continuous process of learning. It's not easy to develop a culture. But we also have rainwater harvesting. So we have a number of rainwater harvester being set up in the campus all over in the residential college and all that. So that takes a time for us to teach them how to use water from rainwater harvesting for washing for washing and, to do things that are, if it's not for consumption, but, for other activities. So that takes training. So we have the hardware, but definitely we need to do a lot of awareness as well. It's not, it's not a short time, but it's a continuous process. And we also have in each of the residential college, we have, we call care squads. We have squads, environmental squads in each of the residential college, and they are the one who are, pushing for their classmates and, residential college mates to exercise a much more responsible green practices. So there are multiple ways that we do this. And we work with other living labs as well. We are only one living lab. There are, other living labs that we work with as well.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's exactly the end time of the session. I would like to thank you all for this excellent debate. We were honored to be followed by Professor Riri herself during all the session. Thank you, Professor Riri, to be with us for this session. And the meeting continues. And see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
See you all tomorrow. Bye.
I think that is the last session, right?